For many of you, this is an old hat, but if you're in person, there's a standing microphone located to your left. If you have a question for any one of our 5 drivers or throughout the course of the month, that is the place to go. And for those of you joining us on Zoom, use the virtual raised hand button if you have a question, and we'll take as many questions from you folks here momentarily. We start the weekend being joined by the top 5, or 4. We've got one that's on the way right now in Pato Award. He'll join us here momentarily. But the top 5 in the NTT INDYCAR Series point standings: Romain Grosjean, driver of the number 28 DNS Filter DHL Honda for Andretti Autosport. Romain begins the weekend 5th in points. Scott McLaughlin on the far right just shot an 80 at Brickyard Crossing. Yeah, not bad. Driving the number 3 Odyssey Battery Team Penske Chevrolet. He's 4th in points. Alex Palou driving the number 10, the American Legion Chip Ganassi Racing Honda. He is 3rd in points. I mentioned Pato driving, of course, the number 5 Arrow McLaren Chevrolet. Pato is 2nd in points. And he begins the month where he ended up the month a year ago at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Marcus Ericsson driving the number 8 Husky Chocolate Chip Ganassi Racing Honda. 17-point deficit, or lead rather, in the championship. Alex, your eyes shot up real quick. He's in front. You're 3rd right now.
Yeah,
so,
I know that. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Marcus, we'll begin with you. 4 races, 4 top 10s. What do you make of your season thus far in 2023?
It's been a great start. I think we came out strong, obviously winning St. Pete. But just in general, I think we've been strong this year. Thermal, we were fastest down there, and just been solid. Like I said, 4 top 10s. That's what we need to keep doing, being consistent. When we have a bad day, like Texas, like Barber, we were still in the top 10. So that was those things are good. So yeah, I'm really happy with our progress we've made. I feel like we are a stronger package this year even than last year, and but yeah, the competition is tough. It's incredible to see, you know, the top 10 in the championship and how close it is. I think it's super cool for the series, and you know, shows how competitive it is.
You mentioned qualifying. Even the qualifying sessions have been super packed. I think last couple races, 2 of the top 6 in IndyCar history among the top 6 in qualifying. So it speaks to how tight everything is this year. Pato we'll get to in a second. 3rd place, Alex Palou. The only driver to finish each and every lap so far this season. 4 top 10s. A lot of good things happening here. How much do you look forward to a month of May here at IMS?
Oh yeah, I love it. Warm weather is back here in Indy, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so far, but still, at least we got like couple of days.
Don't jinx it now for us, okay?
I know. Yeah, it's been a great start of the season. As Marcus said, I think the team did an outstanding job all year, because we finished really strong last year, but it feels like this year everything is just feels a bit nicer, a bit more balanced. So it's been positive so far, but it's just been like 4 races. There's a lot to go, and the best month of the year, it's here. So yeah, really excited to be here. It wasn't a great month for the number 10 last year, but hopefully we can make it a lot better this year.
Bounce back here in 2023. Scott McLaughlin comes off the win at Barber Motorsports Park a few weeks ago, and now back on another road course for you, Scott. So how do you keep this momentum going, you think?
Look, I think we've had really good pace all year. It's just a matter of putting things together, my end and the team's end, and I felt like Barber was really. We were very simple all weekend. We had a really fast car and didn't really change too much apart from the front wing. So it was really strong, and hopefully we roll off the truck just as good. But I think who knows? You just don't know with IndyCar. You just got to ride the wave. You got to ride keep working hard, and hopefully the work that you put in behind the scenes, you end up at the front, but you sort of don't. You can't really rest on your laurels in this paddock. So you just got to keep working hard and see how we go.
Romain Grosjean, the incident at St. Pete, of course, a lot of us remember obviously watching it, and then it was on 100 Days as well, and well documented there. But a couple of podiums for you since then, and 2 poles to start the season as well. I mean, how close do you think you are to your first win, getting over the hump, and maybe rolling off several wins here in this series?
Well, I think I'm going to finally win a race, so the question stopped being asked.
Is that you?
I mean, that's a good move. It was close in Barber, it was close in St. Pete with Scotty. We had some really good fights. Barber was a lot of fun, and the team has done such a tremendous job from last year, being good. And we have 3 out of 4 pole position as a team. I haven't qualified further back than third on road course or street course so far, so it's pretty decent. I think we're here, and the win's going to come whenever it comes. But if we finish every time second, it's going to be good for the championship. So we just keep doing.
Some guy named Will Power did pretty well last year, just finishing
it's a good
races up
strategy.
front. So for sure. And again, welcome to Pato Award, driver the number 5, Arrow McLaren Chevrolet. Really a good season, obviously. Top 5s, 3 top 5s. It was a bit of a hard luck start to the first 2 races of the season, but obviously, the energy, what's it like right now with the team? You come into the month of May feeling pretty good, perhaps?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's the start of a very busy month, and yeah, so far we've had a very strong start to the year. We've had a few near misses, I guess, on a couple of wins we could have gotten here or there, but all in all, it's been a very positive start compared to years past, and I don't think our approach is going to change much. We just need to try and maximize this weekend, just like we've tried every other one, and keep on going.
Yeah. Stand by for all those on Zoom. We'll begin with questions in person. Bruce Martin, NBC, Forbes, Speed Sport. Go ahead, Bruce.
This is the 10th year of the GMR Grand Prix, so none of you guys were here before they had this, when it was just practice going into qualifying for the 500. What do you guys think of this event? What do you think of the course and how it's a kickoff to the big prize at the end of the month?
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to start the month. I think, it's the, our highlight of the year is the month of May, and to start it off with a race on the road course is, in my opinion, a perfect way to do it. It's usually quite fun races here. The track itself is maybe not the most challenging on the calendar, but it does produce some good racing. It's always super close, and the weather obviously spices things up. Early May is usually, tricky around here weather-wise. So yeah, I think it's a perfect way to start a month of May.
Roman?
I like it. More races we are, better it is. So that's why I had my first ball. That's why my first podium in IndyCar. So that's always going to be a special Grand Prix for me. And hopefully add one more on the list for that one.
Yeah, I agree with both of these guys. I think it's perfect way to start the month. I feel like it's just, if we have a bit of... I feel like it's always a mixed bag race as well. It looks like it might rain, might not. It's always pretty exciting. So, hopefully we put on a good show and start the month off right.
Yeah, not much to add there. I think it's great that we have a road course race before the Indy 500. Just makes everybody be ready. It's a good warm-up, and I think it's a fun race. As Marcus said, the track is not one of the most challenging, but I think we saw very different strategies in the past, a lot of passing places, so yeah, I think it's a good one.
What they said.
That's right. That's what we're waiting on. Steve Whittish, go ahead.
Pato, you kind of made your U.S. debut here at the Chris Griffiths test, I don't remember, 14 or 15. Anything you remember about that weekend?
I do. Pro Mazda 2015,
I think.
No, end of 2014, I think it was. Fairly straightforward. It's a pretty simple track. It's usually very tight, not just in our field, but I think for the whole ladder system. There's long straightaways. We have, strategies to play with, different tires. So, good memories.
One for everybody. Scott, you obviously got into not a Twitter war, but a Twitter conversation about diversity in racing.
Versatility.
Versatility. You've obviously got someone came from the American Ladder Series, someone Super Formula, a couple F1 guys, supercars. Any comment from you other guys about the versatility of what it takes to race in IndyCar?
No, I was sort of saying that tweet was BS. I thought it was a poorly worded tweet that was just clickbait, and I sort of told Landon that. But yeah, I think what I said was calling NASCAR the most versatile in the world. I didn't agree with, and I don't think you can pinpoint anyone as the most versatile. I think if you're good, you work out a way of trying to drive a race car fast, whether it's a go-kart, whether it's a sports car, F1 car, whatever. You figure it out. So I think if you're good, you're versatile.
Any other guys want to comment? No.
Hard pass, Steve. Nate Ryan, NBC.
I'll start with Scott on this one because you mentioned the weather forecast. I'm pretty sure this was the first significant rain event for the Aero screen last year was this race. So obviously IndyCar has made some changes. Are you expecting that if we get another monsoon, it'll be a little different than last year?
Yeah, I think every chance we get to improve things with the Aero screen and what we're doing with IndyCar itself, technical-wise, I think that they will improve. I think there's going to be things that we try to figure out. We'll see in this race that it might change things and we might do some things different in the future, but that's just all about developing with it. The problem is we don't race in the rain that much. Unfortunately, we always have pretty clear skies, but yeah, for me, last year was my first ever going in an open wheeler, so that whole experience was, I was just, pretty big eyes, I didn't really know what to expect, so I just ran with it, but a few of the experienced guys said it looked pretty bad, so I was sort of just seeing what all I knew. I didn't really know much other than that. But yeah, hopefully they have improved it for this year.
Any thoughts from the rest of you guys on that?
Well, I was the only guy that had no problem. I had no fog. The visibility was poor, but compared to Formula 1 on the wet, it was actually pretty decent. And the good thing is that we could stay flat out on the straight because we had good tires. So actually my life was a lot more enjoyable than I'd known in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same. I was pretty happy with my aero screen last year. I think for me the biggest problem was the start-finish straight, the standing water there. And I think I watched back the race the other day, and it's just all that standing water we had in the end just made that big cloud of moisture or whatever. And I think that was a danger. And then obviously I know that other people had issues with their aero screens, but I think IndyCar has done some good improvements there to make sure that doesn't happen again. So, hopefully, it's been crazy. I've been 5 years in IndyCar and I've done 2 wet races in 5 years. It's like, I don't understand. But yeah, hopefully we get some wet this weekend and we can try it out.
Alex, I think you had an incident in this race.
Yep.
Are you expecting it'll be easier this year to drive if you have those conditions again? Or?
Yeah, I mean, the incident was on slick tires. I just spun. It was not a big incident, but yeah, I had more just because of that spin. I was last, and I could not see anything on the straights or anywhere on the track. So yeah, hopefully this year they fix it, and hopefully we don't have to be at the back to try and see if they fixed it from last year now.
Yeah. Any thoughts? No, you're good, buddy.
I think it's more of a rooster tail problem, and that's inevitable. You're always going to have that with a car with wings. So to me, it was, if you're at the back, then yeah, you're going to struggle a lot more than if you're in the top 3 or 4. But I think that's the same with any other open wheel car. I don't think it's specific to it's because we have the aero screen. No, I actually think it was slightly better than the driver visors at times. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, one more for Marcus, because you were just showing us your helmet. Can you just give us the spiel on how that came to be and how it was designed and why you wanted to do that?
Yeah, so I've done some stuff with Riley here over the winter, and been in Indianapolis for 5 years now. Been living here, so came up with this idea. It was actually a friend of mine that saw a hockey NHL goalkeeper did something similar earlier this winter. And we came up with this idea to do something with Riley, and went and contacted them about this idea of doing some artwork on my helmet from kids that's at Riley. And they thought it was a great idea. And I got some different paintings and sent that to my designer, and he made a design of, so picked out 4 paintings that we put on the helmet. And that's the helmet I'm going to use this weekend. And then after the weekend, going to auction it out, and all the money goes to Raleigh and what they do. And also the reason we picked this race is, one, because obviously Indianapolis and the community here and everything, but also because it's Mental Health Awareness Month which I think is a very important subject, and especially for kids these days with how it is. So yeah, it's multiple reasons, but it feels fantastic, and I think it's for a great cause, and I hope it's going to go for a lot of money after this weekend. So yeah, Riley can benefit from that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wolfgang, back in the United States. Go ahead, sir. Oh, yeah, let's hear it for Wolfgang. All right.
I have a couple of questions to Romain.
Shocking.
Yeah. First, the two question goes back a little bit into the past. I was not here the last 3 years, so sorry when somebody asked you already these questions. When you made the switch from the Haas F1 to the Dallara IndyCar, what was the biggest challenge, the biggest difference between the two cars?
It's funny because it's a question that obviously I had like 1,000 times, but from the fans more than the media. So I actually made a long YouTube video about it because I was bored of answering. The quickest way of putting it is that everyone here has got the same car. That's the biggest fundamental difference, that everyone here, we're standing with 5 here standing, top 5 of the championship, but with 27 cars, and I can name you at least 15 that can win the race. Over the weekend, and I think that's the huge difference. Obviously, we all set it up to the best of our ability, capacity, how we like to drive a car, and that's what makes the difference. But that's also what the lap time is so close, because I could be driving a very oversteery car, Scott could be driving a very understeery car, but that's the way maybe he likes it. That's the way maybe I like it, and then at the end we do the same lap time.
Okay, and then the second and third question. Did you expect yourself in a relatively short time when you made the move to IndyCar to be so successful like you are at the moment? And then the last question, then I'm finished. I just recognized I was in the museum gift store a couple of days ago. You entered now the market as a book writer. So congratulations for that. Is the book just available in America or worldwide?
No, the book is worldwide. It was actually co-written with my wife. So we did that after my accident, and kind of telling a little bit the story of my career. And was I expecting to be so successful in the US? Yes. I think I'm one of the best around this job. And, I won every championship before getting to Formula One. Never sadly got the chance to have the car to win races. It was close a few times. But I mean, yes, I think I'm pretty decent at what I do, and that's what I love doing as well, so it works pretty well.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Ewan, go ahead.
Being a top 5 press conference, 3 names missing, obviously, are Joseph and Will and Scott Dixon. How much do you guys start points racing now that you're already ahead of them? And again, this is a question for any of you. Do you try to keep them behind you leaving this month? Any of the 5?
Alex, you want to take a crack at that?
Yeah, I mean, you always try to fight for wins, and if it's not a win, you want to get as many points as possible. I think the 3 names that you named, they are obviously a big threat for the championship, but I think there's more, especially this year. But as you saw, it's really, really tight. And going back to the points, yeah, you just want to lead as fast and as big of a gap as possible, but I think we saw in IndyCar that it's really tough to do so. But yeah, I would say being the season so long as we have in IndyCar, at least in my opinion, I didn't start thinking about the 2021 championship until the last 3 to 4 races, because one win can change a lot. So yeah.
And Marcus, obviously you've been here since last May, but billboards are up. Notice you got your winner's ring on. How cool is it coming back now, noticing with kind of your face everywhere around the city?
Yeah, no, it feels amazing to be back here and be the defending winner. It's definitely a very special feeling, driving in through the gates there and see the big banner and all those things. It's very, very special. So just gonna try and enjoy this month as much as possible, and then really. Yeah, just take in everything it sort of gives me. So very excited to be here. It's even before winning, it's always so special to be at Indianapolis and be at this place with all the history and everything that goes into this. But yeah, to be here as the defending winner is extremely special.
Go ahead.
This is for all of y'all. Let's start with Scott and then go down the line. what are the emotions like coming into May, and what are you most excited about for this month?
Yeah, I think just what Marcus said, it's a very exciting month for us all. It's we've talked about it's our Super Bowl, and it's really a lot of things roll into one for our series. Very important month for us all. You know, for the business of IndyCar, for us as drivers, it's for the biggest races of your life. But you've got to control those emotions as well. You can't. I think you can burn yourself out by thinking about it too much and making it too big of a deal as well. So I've always, I just try and keep it as calm as I can and be as it's just another race, with a lot of cool things around it, especially if you win. So, but it's hard to it's hard to control that when there's so many fans that come out and whatnot. So it's very, very cool. But yeah, it's just something that you got to control.
Y'all go down the line.
Just excited. We got 2 races this month, and I just got to say they all score the same points. Obviously, one is a big one, but I think the win is the consequence of what you do. So it's all about building and working and doing the best you can.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's our highlight of the year, and super special to be here as the defending winner. And yeah, I just can't wait for the whole month, but I think especially that feeling on race day morning when you wake up and it's the 500 race day. I think it's just so special, and excited about that. Excited to see all the fans here. It's always so cool to just interact with all the people here, and I don't know, driver intros for me for the 500 is always just something about it, and for me that moment when you go up there on the driver intros and you just look around and you see people whatever direction you look at, it's just moments like that I think is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it's just an amazing event, not only Sunday but also the qualifying week. There's a lot of pressure there to try and get into the race, and then once you're there you want to start as front as possible and try and fight for pole. And you see slowly building up with more fans on the stands until you get to the race day, which is just incredible, especially as Marcus said on driver intros. Once they say your name and you are able to just see the whole front straight, it's pretty impressive. And then at the end of the day, it's just another race because it's true. It's just the same IndyCars, same drivers, just going a bit faster and for 200 laps. But it's an important one, and everybody that makes the race wants to win it.
Yeah, but it's a pretty spectacular, event itself, but just what leads up to it. There's obviously a lot of build-up, a lot of people that really look forward to race day, including all the drivers. But there's so many little things that you do before then that count in on the experience, that count in the journey, and I think just being a part of it is already a really, really cool thing, and much less just being one of the contenders and just fighting it out and give the fans a good show. I think at the end of the day they make this even more special than what it already is, and just really, really cool to be here.
Chris, and we'll take one or two off Zoom. Go ahead, Chris.
Pato, so many traditions with the month of May, and maybe you started another one. You referred to the 500, I think, as the big cookie. Is that something that just popped into your head? Or are you trying to get an endorsement deal with Keebler or Crumble? What's going on with the big cookie?
Yeah, I don't have any cookie sponsors yet. But I don't know if I probably heard it somewhere. And it just stuck with me. And it's just a badass race. There's really no other way to say it.
Let's take, in honor of Wolfgang, we'll take 2 off of Zoom. Ben Johnson from the Paddock Eye. Go ahead, Ben.
Cheers, Dave. Hey, guys. Welcome to the month of May. It's fantastic here. It's back at the Speedway. Marcus, question for you. What do you think has kind of led to your consistency this season? Is it down to just working really well with the team, or have you trained differently or anything this year?
I think it's a few things. We worked really hard in the off season to improve on our already strong 2022. I think us as a team on the whole Chip Ganassi Racing organization, I feel like we've really try to improve the cars and you know just be better again. And that's the cool thing with Chip Ganassi Racing. They never stop. They always want more. Always want to be better. So I feel like we've taken some steps there. And I feel like me on a personal side, I always try and work on myself and be better every year. And I feel like I've taken some steps as a driver as well. So yeah, I think it's a combination of things that's made us start off very strong.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Best of luck this weekend and see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks, Dave.
You got it, Ben. One more, Eduardo Almos from IndyCar Al Dia. Go ahead, Eduardo.
Thank you, Dave. Good afternoon, everyone. In Spanish for Pato and Alex. Hola a los dos. Considerando lo que pasó el año pasado de la lluvia y condiciones de seco, ¿cómo, independientemente de los cambios para este año en el auto, cómo se mentalizan ustedes, cómo se preparan en el aspecto psicológico para una posible carrera con condiciones cambiantes?
Bueno, para mí fue una carrera muy mala. Íbamos bastante rápido, hice un error que nos costó perder una vuelta y a partir de ahí creo que terminamos 18 o 20, terminamos de los últimos en pista, así que va a ser complicado, siempre es complicado cuando hay condiciones cambiantes. Creo que el año pasado tuve a lo mejor un poquito de mala suerte al tener que perder una vuelta y ya no poder hacer nada, pero nada, seguiremos empujando, intentaremos salir lo más adelante posible y las estrategias aquí siempre cambian, sobre todo al tener mucho grip en la pista. Me acuerdo que los neumáticos de seco iban muy bien, aunque estaba lleno y encharcado de agua, así que bueno, veremos qué tal este año.
¿Pato?
Pues el resultado que nosotros cerramos el año pasado en esta carrera en papel se ve muy mal, pero yo siento que fue de las mejores carreras que pudo haber, o más bien que se ha visto en IndyCar, nomás por la diferencia de estrategias, de lo tan loca que estuvo, muchos trompos, gente en slicks cuando estaba demasiado mojado. Nosotros estuvimos a nada de pues quedarnos con un buen podio, pero lástima, mi Arrow McLaren no viene con un radar de lluvia, entonces pues tuvimos que tomar un penalti cuando se puso demasiado y llegó demasiada agua y pues ya no podías estar rodando con slicks, pero no sé, a mí me gusta la idea de que venga el agua. Realmente siento que nomás agrega pues algo todavía más intenso de lo que es. Cuando es seca la carrera aquí, pues hay estrategias diferentes, pero no sé, yo realmente sí me divertí bastante el año pasado.
Perfecto. Gracias. Thank you, Dave.
Okay, Eduardo, we'll go ahead and break now. All 5 will be available for a limited time before they head off to their engineer meetings, one-on-ones here. We want to thank, obviously, Marcus, Pato, Alex, Scott, and Roman for their time here this afternoon. Before you guys break, quick photo op, and there's a couple of inquiries about that. Yeah, you good, Chris? You guys are in? So you guys go ahead and stand up, maybe next to the NTT INDYCAR Series logo, and we'll do a quick photo. There you go. Couple more minutes or seconds here. Everybody good? Mark, you good? All right. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Appreciate it. The NTT INDYCAR Series on the track tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m.
I'm not, like, I just got started about today. That's what I'm screaming. I'm going to write something down.